In a world overrun with the fake, delusional, and disingenuous, he stands as a beacon of truth. He is Awww Cabal. You are listening to Awww Cabal.
Welcome to the Awww Cabal Show.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all the progress that you guys have helped me to attain. And hopefully you can help me grow a little bit more into the future. Again, thanks a lot for all your contributions. Today, I think I want to talk about the latest with Lizzo. There's been some photos of her. She was out with a rather tall gentleman, black guy. And I guess wasn't a bad looking guy, but the photos were taken. She was, they were both, dressed up to go out and everything. She was a little bit, a couple of steps behind him. He was in front, almost as if he didn't even want to be seen with her. But I don't want to add too much to the photos. You guys go check them out. They're out there. I was going to put them up, but didn't have enough time to kind of add that to the mix, and that's another story into itself. But this story is concerning Lizzo's critique of her feelings when she was, growing up watching Eddie Murphy movies. Specifically, the Nutty Professor with the fat suits. And her quote was, "People would be laughing at," and I guess she's trying to say laughing at Eddie Murphy, but I would feel sad. Lizzo explains why Eddie Murphy's The Nutty Professor was a hard watch. And this was a story by Awww Germain on February 24th, 2022. Shout out, to the sisters, bringing all of this knowledge of feelings of inadequacy with regard to, overweight people and people who feel like they're not being treated fairly because they're overweight and whatnot. Okay, so in this second photo here, she says, "It's funny because I'm the biggest Eddie Murphy fan of all time, but he definitely had a collection of fat suit movies the people would be laughing at, but I would feel sad." Okay, all right, that's a little bit better context there. Okay, so I'll take a look at that, and then we'll dig into it a little bit. So here again, same intro there from the Atlanta Black Star. Okay, and then you got a picture of Lizzo here, all juicy and whatnot. Okay, so veteran Hollywood comedian and actor Eddie Murphy has a very successful and lucrative career, making fans laugh thanks to films such as Coming to America, Norbit, and The Nutty Professor. The 60-year-old's movies gave us some of the most hilarious movie lines ever, and even more memorable characters including Sherman Klump, Rasputia Lattimore. However, during a recent interview with Variety, Grammy Award winner Lizzo shared that while many may have been laughing at Eddie Murphy films for years, some of the actor's cinema contributions left her sad. Okay, Miss Lizzo performs at Miami Beach at a platinum studio for American Express Unstaged final 2021 performance at Miami Beach edition. Okay, that's where the picture's from. And I don't know, man. Maybe some people think that that's attractive, but she's big, man. I mean, and she got, she's got a couple of garments underneath there to keep everything in a little bit more than what it is. So that's not going to be looking too good in naked time. So, just more promotion of all of these harnesses and giddy ups and stuff that these overweight women are using to make themselves look more slender and whatnot. I mean, she's not bad looking in the face and whatnot, but I mean, that's an issue. And everybody's trying to convince, these women that your weight is not going to be an issue with regard to, dating or marriage. I mean, and, we've all gone over the health, reasons why people, especially Black women, should be, trying to watch their weight and not engaging in overzealous eating and whatnot, and other unhealthy, habits. So here we go. We'll move along with the article here. It's funny because I'm the biggest Eddie Murphy fan of all time, but he definitely had a collection of fat suit movies that people would be laughing at. But I will feel sad, the 33-year-old told the publication. She continued, not because I felt like, oh my gosh, that's me, but I had this empathy for Professor Klump in The Nutty Professor, like the scene where he opens his drawer and there are all these candies and M&Ms in his desk. I could literally cry right now thinking about it. People around me were laughing, but I hide food too. I feel him. I feel sympathy and empathy for him. Okay, so let's go back on that a little bit. So she says, not because I felt like, oh my gosh, that's me, but really, as she expounds on it, oh my gosh, she really does feel like that's her, because she says that she hides M&Ms and ho-ho cakes and all of that too. So, we find that, Lizzo is critiquing herself, looking at these movies. And, fat jokes have been a thing since, the beginning of media. It's always been a thing. There hasn't been as many fat people in the past as there are now, or overweight people, or however y'all, you feel comfortable characterizing the condition. But let's move along. Lizzo says the truth hurts. Singer has long advocated for body positivity, often taking to social media to defend herself and people who look like her. Last June, the Michigan native took to her TikTok where she addressed critics bothered by her appearance. Would y'all focus on that? The truth hurts is what she led with. See, other people out here who hit you with body positivity, they act as if it's not the truth, as if it is just thoughts on what that person looks like or your opinion, but it's not just an opinion, it's the truth. And, we find ourselves in a time where people are trying to make it illegal for you to tell the truth. I mean, they can tell all kinds of lies all over the TV, about all these fat teas and all these things that'll help you lose weight, with laxatives and all that kind of stuff. They're not telling you that that's what's in it, but that's what's in it. If they tell you it's going to give you energy, it's because it's probably caffeine in it, but they don't tell you that. They say it's something else, but they're mischaracterizing their products and, how these people feel. The people that are on TV selling you this crap they're actors. They're paid to say that. And now you have Lizzo on here, and, she needs to be honest. I put on makeup so I look better. And I put on a bunch of straps and harnesses underneath my stuff so that I look a lot, less fat, not more slim, but less fat, and I can get into these unitards and whatnot. So, be honest about that. And I think that's why she breaks out into tears and whatnot, because she is really feeling the brunt of her personal failures with regard to being able to control her weight, and I feel for her because, it is hard, and it's hard for a lot of people, and like Kevin says, a lot of people, women think that they can have it all. Well, women and men think that they can have it all with regard to not being able to work out and to, have the types of results that they want. You can't work, like people have to work to make the amount of money that everybody expects everybody to be able to make in this world, in their fictitious scenarios in their minds, and be able to go to the gym and work out an hour every day, and eat right every day. Because if you look into, how you have to eat and the amount of calories that you have to eat and what type of calories that you have to eat throughout the day, it does not, that these people who look great like that, it's damn near a job for them. They don't tell you that it takes you eating, every 2 hours up until, from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then working out, 1 to 2 times a day in order for you to look that way. But that's what it takes. And then on top of that, you got to go out and you got to work 8 to 12 hours somewhere, every day. And, have a job that's, willing to, to deal with that type of lifestyle, because it's a lifestyle. You have to damn near carry your food with you. There's certain types that you have to eat. If you don't believe me, I'll go into, what these fitness competitors have to eat every single day, in order for them to look the way that they look. Bodybuilders, and the things that they have to eat, and the way that they have to train in order for them to get the basics of what they need to look like, and the amount of water that they have to consume. But the average person is not up to that, And, starting to get up to the, the higher levels, 6 figures and whatnot, like, and those types of jobs, to where you're out and you're actually, because they're not paying you for nothing. They're not paying you to sit on your ass. They're paying you to move around at their behest. So you got to keep that in mind. So let's talk about, let's move on to the article here. So I've been working out consistently for the last 5 years. It may come as a surprise to some of y'all that I'm not working out to have your ideal body type, she said at the time. I'm working out to have my ideal body type. And you know what type that is? None of your effing business. Because I am beautiful. I am strong. I do my job and I stay on my job. Okay, that sounds like she's trying to convince herself. She's not trying to convince y'all or us or me. She's trying to convince herself. She's psyching herself up to feel like what she looks like is okay. You know, but she knows that that's not what it is, you know. And if you really been working out for 5 years, you know, and you really been getting at it for 5 years, you wouldn't be that big, you know. And, you know, let's go back up to the front where she says she hides food too, M&M, candies, all that. You know, I've seen other people do the same thing, go out and buy pieces of cake, you know, get cookies and, you know, hide the cookies up in places and, you know, constantly, you know, drinking, you know, super sugary drinks and whatnot. And then, you know, blaming everybody else because they're not the weight that they feel like they should be. And then they start treating other people, you know, badly because they don't feel like they look the way they need to look. You know, I'm sure somebody, you know, everybody out there has somebody or come across someone that that's like that. You know, you say that, hey, you know, you look fine in that, and then, you know, their feelings about how they look or their weight or whatever the case, it has them feeling like, you know, no, I don't, and they lash out and they only wear certain types of clothes and whatnot because they don't believe in themselves and they don't like their body types. And this is the same thing that Lizzo's doing. So she continued. So next time you want to come to somebody and judge them whether they drink kale smoothies or eat McDonald's or work out or not work out, how about you look at your own effing self and worry about your own GD body? Elsewhere, she noted, health is not just determined on what you look like on the outside, she added. Health also this was a quote from her. Quote, health is also what happens on the inside. And a lot of y'all need to do a effing cleanse for your insides. Namaste. Have a great day, she says. Okay. Well, let's see what she says about this.
But on the days I feel like I should be the happiest, I feel so down. Like, I worked so hard. I've been working triple time, like quadruple time. It's like doing like 12 hours a day of promos and interviews, doing studio, going to the studio with a fucking root canal, gotten a root canal twice and gone to the studio and recorded music, wrote songs. I'm in rehearsal. I'm filming every single day. Shooting documentary. I'm still writing music. Shooting music videos and promo and photo shoots. I'm putting so much loving energy into the world. And bro, sometimes Sometimes I feel like the world just don't love me back. It's like it doesn't matter how much positive energy you put into the world, you're still gonna have people who have something mean to say about you. And for the most part, it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Lies.
I don't care.
Lies.
I just think when I'm working this hard, my tolerance gets lower. My patience is lower. I'm more sensitive.
Yeah, because you're
And
stressed.
it gets to me.
You're stressed. You're heavy.
There's so many people who love rumors. And I'm so happy. I really am. Because we worked hard, and I know that this hard work is paid off. Cardi B worked her fucking ass on.
Now see, I'm so happy, yet I'm so down. She led with, I'm so down. Some days I feel so bad. I'm just not, I just don't feel like the world loves me back. And, all these rumors about me not being happy. And, well, you see how these people, and, I feel for Lizzo. I do. I mean, I'm not trying to, this is negative, but it's also in a constructive way to try to show other people that you cannot be sucked up into this new aged lack of criticism thing that with this phase that we're going through, to where everybody's doing everything right. You can't give any kind of instruction to anybody, no matter whether you've been where they're going, because you're older or whatever the case may be. These people think they've got it all figured out. But if she don't get a hold of this right now, give it another 20 years, she's going to be fatter. It doesn't get any easier. Your hormones and shit start messing with you. And, you start moving towards menopause and whatnot, you're going to get fatter. Your time's gonna, that's why there's a short time frame from the time when you can have kids up to the point to where, you're in a family, you're married and all that stuff. All of that is the time frame that these women are trying to escape. They're constantly trying to escape reality. And you hear it going back and forth in this, in this supposed, explanation as to, what's going on with them.
Atlantic worked their asses off. My team Lizzo, we went hard.
And she's talking about how hard she's working, but none of that shit has anything to do with her losing weight or eating right or any of that shit. It's just, I'm making music and I'm running around doing all these promos to promote that music and to make sure that I'm getting this money. And in the process, I feel like y'all should love me and not think that I'm fat and think that I'm beautiful, just as beautiful as Beyonce and everybody else, because I'm working hard. I'm working just as hard as Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? So here we go.
I'm grateful. I just feel like I'm seeing negativity directed towards me in the most weirdest way. Like, people saying shit about me that just doesn't even make sense.
Like what, Lizzo?
It's fat phobic.
Fat phobia? We scared of fat people?
And it's racist and it's hurtful.
Fat is a race?
If you don't like my music, cool. If you don't like Rumors the song, cool. But a lot of people don't like me because of the way I look. And
That's
I'm
not
like,
true.
Anyways, y'all, I'm just having one of those days where I don't have no time. I don't got no time to chill. I don't got time to see my family. I don't got no fucking friends. All my friends work with me outside of work, you know.
And see, here's another aspect of that. You're making all this money. You know, you're successful. This is where you want to be, but you're bitching about it. What is it? I mean, what's that all about? This is where you want to be, you know? And unfortunately, you know, people, you know, you think that, you know, having all of that responsibility and having that money and traveling around is a good thing until you don't have any peace in your life. And this is another thing that, you know, a lot of people, you know, especially a lot of people who are older and trying to relay some of this knowledge down to some of the young folks about, you know, getting your money together so that you can have peace and not so that you're having to run around all the time. You know, I know some people like, you know, running coast to coast and shit and flying all over the place, you know, traveling and whatnot, you know, but sometimes you want to sit down. Sometimes you want to chill. You know, if you got a big ass house and you're never there, you know, you got, you know, some banging cars and, you know, you can't never drive them, then what's the use in getting all that shit? And that is the wisdom that you get after you've run around, you know, at the behest of other folks trying to get the so-called bag. But let's move along here.
I mean, I got like 3 friends outside of work and they don't even live in LA. I think I'm just overwhelmed.
Yes,
I think I've been in shock ever since the song came out. And I've been like, tequila, turn up, and work. And I haven't really been able to sit and just congratulate myself. Like, I did it. I dropped a song. I said everything I wanted to say. I make music that I like, that's important to me. And I make music that I hope helps people. Period. I'm not making music for white people. I'm not making music for anybody. I'm a black woman making music. I make black music, period. I'm not serving anyone but myself. Everyone is invited to a Lizzo show, to a Lizzo song, to this good energy. Everyone's invited. Anyway, I just want to express my gratitude for everyone who listened to the song, everyone who listened to the song, watched the video, period. Whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your stream. Thank you for your viewership. If you love it, thank you. If it's meh, thank you, because at least you gave it a chance. At least you listened to it. That means something to me. For the people who just always gonna have something negative to say about me that has nothing to do with music or the content of my character or me as an artist and just has everything to do with my body or whatever trope you think I fall into, suck my pussy from behind. Cause y'all motherfuckers gonna be the main ones catching up.
Oh sorry YouTube. I didn't know that was coming. Anyway, yeah, that's a little R-rated. I didn't mean for that to happen. Please forgive me. Anyway, I think, you know, a part of this, you know, this thing with Lizzo is that she, you know, these companies put these kids under a lot of stress. You know, I think they know what these kids are going to go through out here performing like they do. And we've all seen, you know, the end result of this after, you know, it's all over. You know, we see the TV shows and movies about the dysfunction that happens in these performers' lives. And I think some of these companies need to add that to the cost and get these people some mental health care. And, you know, make sure that they have doctors that will hold them, hold them down and keep them from the drugs and keep them out of, unhealthy habits. You know, I think that's what this comes down to. I wish Lizzo well. You know, I'm sure she doesn't have any problems getting sex or being with folks. It's just that it's not the type of people that she wants to be, seen with and dating. So, you know, I think she probably has some of the same problems that the average woman have. Believe it or not, you know, there's probably some nice looking guys out here that are probably would hit Lizzo with extreme prejudice. But, you know, she's not telling that part because that's probably not, what she wants. She wants somebody that's going to lock in with her, that's going to want to be seen with her and whatnot. And, there's some guys out there that's like that too, but, they may not be the type of guys that she wants. So, I just wanted to scratch on this a little bit, see what you guys thought. I will play the rest of it, but who knows what Lizzo may say. I forgot about all of that. It might be some booty popping or something up in there that YouTube might not like. So I'm going to cut it off here, and we're going to, move on back down from the interview there. And I'm going to talk about the second part of this type of, this mindset. We hear this all the time where the folks go out and, they buy all of this stuff from, Fashion Nova and all these places. And, you see the dress there, you see the dress off the shoulders, and that's for a little bitty woman. That's for, Kevin Samuels Meetup Facebook page. That's what that's for. That's not for her. It's just like the caption says, my issue is how and why you rate it as a 2. It is not the dress's fault. And it's not. It's not. Why do people who have figures like this try to fit in dresses that are clearly not made for them? I mean, you have little people, smaller people from all the way around the world making those dresses for a certain size of woman. And it ain't 16, 12, 10. It's none of that. 18, those types of sizes. It's not that. But we still, we continue to get these critiques, of the companies as if they selling, bogus merchandise, but that's not the case. It's just not for you. And, what we're seeing also is, a push for these companies to make bigger and bigger clothes. We're working more and more and more, and we have less and less time to work out and to take care of our bodies and to eat right. There is a growing number of, Black women that are out here that will go to McDonald's and all the fast food places. And, we know how, the ladies all talk about how they like to eat at the upper level, restaurants also. And it's not, like back in the day where, eating out was a thing you did on the weekends. It's every day now. They feel like they should be going and eating like they have a chef, and they think that they're going to keep them hips down and those bellies down, and whatnot. And you know, that's just not happening. You know, the stats are not in your favor. You know, if you have some time, just do a Google search, you know, and look up young women and obesity rates. And those young women's obesity rates are more than young men's. Young women are fatter than young men in the same age groups. You know, it's becoming an epidemic, and something needs to be done. So there needs to be some type of committee or something that takes place that analyzes this, gives us some statistics, and makes some predictions for the future. But I'm sure that the women will probably not like to hear that, but we definitely need that so that we can track this, you know, because the health implications are ridiculous. I mean, think about if people just keep getting fatter and fatter, and you know, people can't even fit into the aircraft as pilots. You know, people can't fit into the airplanes. Airplanes carrying less people because people are getting bigger and bigger. You know, cars, you know, have to get bigger because folks are getting bigger. Everybody looking like they're riding around in clown cars. You know, something has to be done eventually. And hopefully reality and belief in science and medicine will prevail. And, you know, we don't succumb to all of this feel-goodism and fictitious magic and crystal energy and witchy poo-ness that's going on all over the world, especially in the United States. You know, thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you guys the next time.
I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long way from